Not a sweatshirt? Oh no, we're live now.
Are we live already?
We are live, yes.
Oh. We're live. Well, okay, so hi everyone. I thought at a suggestion of my wife that we would just invite our friends and family in to something we normally do privately. So, we're not dressed fancy or that kind of thing. I've just finished leading a workshop today. We had about 45 people in a deep dive on strategy for the EO organization with the Toronto chapter. We had people from Toronto and surrounding areas, from across Canada, from New York and Ohio, I think, and somebody in California. Like, we had a big range of people from all over, but mostly Toronto. And it was just a great day. And I thought, we should just talk a little bit about what made it great and what people gave good feedback for, why I had fun with it and that kind of thing. So first of all, it was super, super early, right? We started at 6 a.m. my time. And that means that I got up at 4:30, I think, this morning.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's early.
And we know in general I don't love that, but I'm willing to do it and bring something happen, and then I'll sleep later or go to bed early or do something tonight. But I definitely am still kind of buzzing from the excitement of working with 45 people a day in Zoom, right? Not here in a live session, but in a private session with Zoom. So we did the day. We went through a variety of things in the world of strategy. Some deep dives on some basic things and some others. And we do sort of two versions of this, one this year and then one next year. And we go through different areas with this particular group. So after going through some basics of scaling up intro, and it was fun, first of all, just to see the range of people in the room, to have a lot of faces was good. The event I'm doing next week with Vern, Vern sent me an update. I think we have, how many people are in it? Just a lot, over 500 coming in our workshop next week. But today I had 45, and I had a partner, Nick Thompson, who was co-leading the session with me. It's super helpful to have people running breakout rooms, moderating chats, doing different aspects of the day like that. But as I always, I love bringing in the music and making song choices as we go through the day. I don't put lots of songs in our live streams because you can get into rights issues with those. But in a private session, I can pick different tracks. We finished the day with Don't Back Down. And as we went into the finish of the day, I played U2's A Beautiful Day. Right. Because I was feeling upbeat, and we'd done such great work and that kind of thing. And then I was like, don't back down. Hey, baby, that end of the day, sending people off into the quarter, which was really fun. So start of the day, we did vision summary. Now, these guys have all worked on their vision summary to different levels before. So we just went through it again to look at where are they not solid? Where are they not using some part of the vision summary? Where should they bring renewed attention? So it was a little more review and looking at where to go deep. That was a pretty short one. Then we went through SWT. So strengths, weaknesses, trends, or SWET tool is that strategy tool. I can't remember what tracks I played the music in that section, but our focus there was on brainstorming all the different strategies, all the different trends that people saw, so that instead of me trying to brainstorm the trends, we looked from all different perspectives of these 45 different entrepreneurs and what trends they saw. And we've been doing this with our teams, as you well know, every quarter, at least updating it, right? Because so much is changing, right? We got first wave, then we got relaxing, then we got second wave, then we got shutdown coming in some places. And then people are now anticipating what are the impacts on real estate and other things. And then they're looking ahead to, especially in Canada, right? They're very attuned to Gretzky's skate to where the puck is going. So they're thinking about what's going to happen first quarter and beyond as vaccines start to get out there, as politics change, as things like that. There's a lot of that kind of going on. So we did that broad, and then we collected 45 people's different inputs on trends and shared that list back out with the group because they all typed it in. So now they've got this big thing, and we had them start putting things up on their wall. So they didn't get very far actually with the wall work today, but we showed a picture of what that would look like so that they could get started. Then we talked about being different, right?
You talked about what?
Being different,
Oh,
right?
Okay.
What are your key differentiators? What could you double down on? How could you focus on getting weird? And with this one, it's really helpful to hear the feedback from others. So if I share a little bit about our business, right? If we didn't work together, right? People know Lucy and I work together. But if we were strangers not in the same company, you might hear like, oh, that seems a little odd. Like I didn't. So an outsider, a coach, or some other partner can help you to figure out what it is that you do that's unique and different, as well as we had them look at different industries. So what are the other competitors they do? How do they compare in their people? How do they compare in their products and services? How do they compare in their operations? What's their pricing in their business model? Some of those practices, we had them look in a lot of different ways at what might be different and then try to narrow a few things to make sure they focus on, to be intentionally different, right? In that, not like accidentally.
Mhm.
Many of us are accidentally different in different ways.
Right.
So we do that. Then we want to work on core purpose. What is the purpose of the business? The why of the work. We talked about Simon Sinek and Aubrey Daniels, and we had them ask each other and probe, why do you do what you do? And why does that matter? And what difference does that make? And as they probed it, they came up with really, really beautiful things. And I can't share all of them because the content really of the day was confidential, but people came up with beautiful things about bringing creativity and amazing experiences into the world and solving problems in fresh ways and providing freedom, creating peace of mind. You know, these are just really like core things that resonate with people and have them put in that extra effort. So we did that. We went to work on BHAG, and we had them see that making you rich is not something that most of your employees and other people are really interested in doing. It's nice for you, but the rest of the world doesn't care about making you rich. But we do care about a lot of other things that will get you there in the process. So if your goal was financial, we worked on translating that into impact. And very often that's purpose, right? So then we started to look at what are the like really going after something huge, playing a big game. And so the songs we picked in that section leading in and out of exercise were very much about, you know, swinging for the fences, that kind of thing, playing a big game against the thing that you care about that we just did, the purpose work. Right. So that was really cool. And people came up with really surprising things in that, re-articulated some of that, re-expressed it. We had a visiting speaker talking about stuff, and it was just fun to have another person bring a different perspective on strategy. And then here's the really cool thing. After that and after lunch, we did a visioning work. We did work in Jim Collins' vivid vision approach. I talked about 1-800-GOT-JUNK and Brian Scudamore, and I used that example. And about how they use vivid vision. I shared a little bit about how a couple times I couldn't see the way out of things for the company or the way to get, and sharing this vision, the company together figured it out. So I had everyone kind of do a guided meditation. So I had them like close their eyes and settle down right in the middle of a Zoom and settle their breathing a little bit, some deep breaths. Then I had them do a body scan, right, and center and relax all the different parts of the body and that kind of thing. And then after that, and accept whether they like this sort of thing or didn't like this sort of thing, or just including all of that, all the feelings, sensations, thoughts, everything, till they were really kind of ready. And then I had them say, okay, it's now 2025. And I want you to think about the beginning of your day today in 2025. And I just kept asking them, like, how do you wake up? And what does that look like? And where are you? And how does your day begin? And what's your family situation? And what is your morning routine? And how does that serve the kind of leader that you are? And then what is it like? How do you get to work? Do you drive to work? Do you take some kind of public transit? Is it downstairs, across the room, or is it across town? So I just had them visualize, then walk into your office. Now all this visualization, their eyes are closed. They're thinking through this thing. Imagine who's there. Who do you work with? What's it like? How does your day begin in the office? What are your interactions with your team and your customers like? Who's on your team? What do your customers say to you? What is being said about you today in the press and by suppliers in the industry? So that whole visioning of stuff, right? And then how does your day progress and how does it end and how do you wrap up? And then now that you go home, what's the kind of home environment and what kind of juju are you bringing home? And what's that thing and how do you end your day and how do you feel about everything? And then I had them come settle and kind of come back into the room and their eyes open. And I said, okay, now without speaking, just write. And I just had them write for a little over 8 minutes, just writing everything out. Then we gave them some prompts, right? We have a lot of prompts about revenues and team count and things like that. And then after they really sort of poured all that out, then I put them into their groups. And in their groups, small groups, like 3s and 4s, I think at this point, I had them just share with each other everything that they came up. And people just came out of it. They're like, oh my God, that was amazing. I'd imagined a future. I described the numbers and things like that, but I'd never visualized it.
Yeah. That meditation is so powerful because we all have concepts and ideas of where we want to be in 5 years, but a meditation like that, you actually get to feel it. You get to feel yourself being in that moment exactly where you want to be. And it just makes it so much more real.
So feel it, see it, imagine it. I said, and look, you have a particular vision, a thing you want, and you don't know exactly how to get there. Right. But if you can create and bring everybody else into that visualization, you don't want to go create a committee level vision of the future. You want it to be personal. You're the owner and the head of the company. So go ahead and create it and share it. You can invite people to see themselves in it and to imagine themselves and what their role is like. But it doesn't mean you have to change it. And they together will help you figure out how to do that between here and there. And no one of you has all the answers for doing it, but together you'll do stuff. And people just loved it.
I bet. That's great.
Then we said, okay, we did work earlier in the day on your business purpose. Now let's figure out your life's purpose. No small task, right?
Right.
We're gonna finish.
How much time did you guys have today? That's a lot.
So I think life purpose, we spent 40 minutes on. And the truth is people can really figure out a lot of their life purpose in a very short period of time. The question is feeling confident enough in it and being able to kind of embrace it and start to use it. And I think that's where people get. So I think most people got in the ballpark of it. So I shared about discovering mine, about realizing that all my strengths weren't enough, that it wasn't really fulfilling, and about how I imagine the end of my life, right? Always our planning start with the end in mind. Imagine then the end and that legacy, the thing I want left behind after and as a result of whatever accomplishments was that I want my life to be about making a difference. And then so we introduced that. We showed some clips from Simon Sinek talking about developing your purpose and what goes into it and why it makes a difference and that kind of thing. And then we introduced our worksheet where we examine, what are you passionate about? What are the things you really love? And what are your core strengths, like the things that you really excel at, your areas of excellence, and the kinds of people you like to play with. So who do you like to work with and play with? Who do you like to hang out with? And we looked at the intersection of those things and then imagining the end in mind. People got that on their own. Then in sharing it with the others in the groups, they started then to intuit and hear back what their life's purpose might be. And most people came up with some kind of draft for the purpose of their life, which, no surprise for entrepreneurs, is very, very related to their business purpose, right?
Yeah.
So now they just looked a little bit more personally at what that was and then started to connect those two. And they kind of got it. Now, then I just encouraged them to actually start to use it, to speak it, to do that. It was super, super fun. Then we just, then we started to work on netting up the day. And you do a day like that. And the comments were so great at the end that people just loved it. And the breakout rooms, the musical breaks, the playfulness, the mixture of modes, the personal interaction, the exercises, the workshop, like the whole world of that, of getting, obviously we have a lot more to do in strategy that you could do, but I had such a good time. And so.
Yeah, that sounds great. Love it.
And it's funny. I had a couple technical breakdowns in the day, and as some people will know, my setup's a little more involved. The camera's a little more professional level. The microphones, the audio is all little. Slides are coming off another machine. I've got multiple monitors and studio lights in front of me, and I've got all these kinds of things. And then when I do the slides, I put down the green screen, and they're on frame with me. So I'm sitting with the slides in that, and a couple times things got wonky. Like at one point the trackpad went down, and another point the sound went off, and so a couple things like that happened. But by having a partner, so when we're doing our client sessions, I've always got you in there. In these workshops, I've got another trainer running the chat and the breakout rooms, that kind of thing. But it was so great because he could just like jump in and smooth some things out, and like the whole day flowed. So people spent 7 hours with us, and they were like, "Oh my God, the day just flew by."
That's great. And that's not an easy thing to do on Zoom, right? To have a day fly by when you're in front of the camera all day.
We got to take breaks at the breakout room, a mixture of thinking, of that kind of thing. I stood up at one point. This desk rises, and I did a little bit of standing just to break it up, and moved around and that kind of thing. And now I'm done. I'm ready to like have a beer and go chill out.
Yeah. Well, you wrap it at 4:30, so yeah, you can start your beer time earlier today.
I can. All right. So anyway, that's our debrief. Lori suggested that I just like do it, invite people in and let them hear kind of how it went. We also asked people in the room if they wanted to do our next day in 2 half days or in 1 full day. And there was a little over 40% that wanted to split it, but the majority of the folks liked getting it all done in 1 day. It felt like we got it done. So that was an interesting kind of an insight.
It is interesting.
Today. Yeah. I don't think I would change a whole lot. I mean, I did have, as I always do, a very detailed timeline agenda for the day of how I'm going to go things. And we started the day really slow, and then I had to pick up time. Like we're not staying on time in the beginning of the day, but then I changed a couple things on the fly through the day, and we picked up all the time. We finished a few minutes early. So I think all in all, it went really well. I don't have a lot more of those to do this quarter. In fact, I've got to start working on our People Day stuff for Q1. And of course, we're right in the middle of all of our private coaching clients' annual and Q1 planning right now. So that is full. And looks like we have a couple new people to take on. So there you go. I don't know. That's what I got. You hear anything else in that?
There was just lots. I actually kind of really enjoyed hearing about the day and how it went and the excitement. I think anytime you work on, like BHAG and your core purpose, that stuff is so powerful. So it's nice to hear about how it went and how it was perceived for everybody.
Yeah, felt really good. All right. Thanks so much. Thanks to everyone for joining us live to hear just a little insider debrief into what we did with our day and how it